Hello and welcome to Agents of Helm Weekly Review for the week of May 19th. This is the show where four, sometimes three, and various other combinations of people come and discuss high entertainment and low morals. And this is the weekly show in which we talk about the box office and some movies reviews and a particular episode of interest or several. And this week's episode was Game of Thrones. We're going to talk about that. But before we get into that, I'm going to give you our social media outlets. First and foremost, agentsofhelm.com. You can listen to our podcast there, or you can also watch the raw YouTube footage, which is unedited and spicy. You read articles about entertainment, about how we're all going to die, and you can access our Twitter feed as well. And then you can also access us on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Tumblr under the name Agents of Helm. You can find us on iTunes. Please leave us a review. We read all feedback aloud, and maybe on a future podcast you can hear yourself. So individual Twitters, how can people reach you guys?
I think I'm Renzo. I think. What am I? Do you know what you are, Joe?
Yes, I'm at JAM9270 Twitter.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't been tweeting much lately. I've been busy. You know?
Well, I mean, you can share your Twitter, and maybe you'll get some ats, or you could not share it.
Thanks.
Or I could share it for you if you want.
You actually included me. Yeah, you included me in a couple of tweets recently regarding your you've been on a rampage, creative rampage there, Johanna. You came on our show, gosh, like what, 3-4 months ago, talking about well, we were talking about diversion, I think, or
we were talking about like dystopias.
Yeah, we were talking about
at the end of the world.
And you have you completed a second draft of your own dystopian novel, and now you've jumped onto another one, and you wrote a whole bunch of pages this weekend, huh?
Yeah, I'm about 3/4 of the way through. So that's kind of cool. It was something Lorenzo suggested because he said that there were aspects of the first book that was written that seemed confusing, and he's like, why don't you write some prologue-y kind of things, and that might make more sense. And then before I knew it, the prologue-y things were 100 pages long. So I started to think about it more as a book than as just some sketches that were helping me understand the rest of the book. So yeah, no, it's been going spectacularly well. I've felt particularly compelled in the last 2 weeks to write. So
Johanna, to eliminate any confusion, so you were working on a book, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which does not currently have a title. Does it have a title?
The book that I wrote last year is called A Fragment of Tomorrow. This book does not have a title.
Right. So you were writing a prologue, and now you seem to have written a prequel.
Yeah, it's actually I think it's going to be the first book of the series, and the book that I wrote last year is going to be the second. And from there, I have a third and a fourth planned, and another book that might be in the middle that I've always wanted to write, and it's a draft that I wrote maybe 5 years ago that I'm maybe like 3/4 of the way through as well. So.
Awesome. So you started out with one book. Then Lorenzo gave you some ideas or talked to you about a prologue. You wrote the prologue, which in turn turned into the prequel, which is going to be book 1. And now you're going to work on after you finish that, then you're going to work on the third and fourth. Or plan third and fourth.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, I think that's probably going to be a few years from now.
Yes. So everybody heard it here first. Johanna, when Johanna blows up, you heard it here first when she signs that movie deal to make 5 flicks.
Just don't go all J.R. Just don't go all, what's his name? R.R. Martin? or whatever, where you just pretty soon you're just like just dragging your toes, and everybody's waiting for the next one, and pretty soon HBO is writing your stuff for you.
Well, I have to say, at the rate that I usually write, I don't think that's going to happen, unless there's just a lot of editing to be done. And if our listeners want to just see some tweets, sometimes I tweet about the book, sometimes I tweet about global warming, because that's some of what the book is about. I tweet a little bit about oyster farming, because that's in the book as well. My Twitter handle is @InkyOctopus. Inky Octopus. All right, so you guys have heard a little bit about my weekend and what that was like. How about you guys?
Like I told you last week, Jan, this was all communion weekend for me. Communion, communion, communion. My daughter made her first Holy Communion this weekend, and that was pretty much the weekend. Pretty much, Sunday came by, and that was relaxation day.
Awesome.
So,
So she's wearing all white. She dressed all in white.
yes, she
You
dressed
had to dress her all up in white.
Yep, had the veil and everything.
Yeah.
Then we did. We took the family out to lunch. It was a great day, and I didn't get to watch much stuff this weekend. I tried to catch up on Orphan Black. I did at least get one episode in, and of course I had to watch the season finale of Grimm. I know anybody out there, please leave notes and stuff. I love Grimm, but unfortunately nobody else, none of the other agents watch Grimm, so I can't talk about it. So hit us up on the website. Let me know what you think of Grimm. I think it's a great show. But yeah, Lorenzo, what you do?
If we have time after talking about Game of Thrones, I'm sure we're gonna have we don't have that much to say about Game of Thrones. I'm sure there's gonna be a little bit of time for you to do a little bit of discussion about Grimm. Kind of give us the lowdown on how the season finale went. As far as my weekend went, I got a watch. Got it on the internet.
Oh.
So I'm pretty sure it's going to change. I'm going to actually know what time it is. Right now I know exactly what time it is.
Now, let me try to
What?
describe the watch with my writerly eyes. It looks like it's some sort of...
Your writerly eyes. Don't let it go to your head, girl.
Just
Come
say
on.
it's the Iron Watch.
It's the
Iron,
Iron
the
Watch.
Iron Throne. It's the Iron Watch.
Yeah,
Lorenzo
it's like-
has the Iron Watch.
It's chromy with a big face, and I think it's not digital, which I approve of,
No,
sir.
not
Good job.
digital.
Oh, I like the face. It's Roman numerals, and it's got all the different little faces inside it. I'm so writerly.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. Yes, I don't know what all of them do. When I looked it up, I basically, on Joe, you're very familiar with what is that, Amazon?
Yes.
You get a lot of options where you can just kind of check things, and so basically I tried to get all the features, plus that it was made out of ceramic because I tend to get a rash, so I was hoping the ceramic would prevent that. That's why I don't wear a watch, is because of the rashes. So I was hoping the ceramic would help. Plus, I just checked off all the features that were possible. So what's it called, a tachometer? I don't know what a tachometer is.
You're not going to use
Still-
half the stuff on the watch. You're just going to use
I don't. Yeah, I
all time.
I don't even know how to set it. I swear to God. So I tried to, it's one of those watches where you have the little segments, and so
Right.
you have to take the little links out in order for it to fit. And so I get the watch. It's too big, of course. So then I go on YouTube to try to to see how to take the little links out. And I tried to do what they said on YouTube, but it wasn't working.
You don't have,
So then
if
I
you
was
don't have
like,
the proper
forget it,
tools,
I
Lorenzo, it's going to be mess.
Right, and so I was like, I don't want to fuck it up. I just got it. It looks really nice. So then I took it up to Fifth Avenue. I live in Sunset Park. Fifth Avenue is just a lot of. It's not like Park Slope. I don't know how many of our listener is from but Park Slope is kind of high end. But as you go further south, you get in. We're talking about Brooklyn. You get into more of the more shady kind of spots, the more shady types of business establishments. And so I go to this jewelry store. First, I go to this guy that he's I guess a pawn shop, owned by a Hasidic gentleman, or this Hasidic gentleman was running the shop, and he looks at it. He's like, I can't do it because I might mess it up. It's got like the little pins in it have like pins inside the pins. It's a whole thing, right? He's like, it's a nice watch. I don't want to mess it up. You need to go to a watchmaker. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I go to the jeweler that's like like a block down. This guy is like Israeli. This, by the way, this has nothing to do with with Israelis or Hasidics or anything like that. It's just I thought he was Russian with his accent, and he's like a big bodybuilder. First person I run into is his. Again, I don't have no idea why I'm identifying people by race. Maybe I am racist. His Latina like salesperson. I come up to her, and she's like, "Oh yeah, just let me see it. I'm like, "Well, let me just tell you that it's got this weird pin thing." She's like, "Oh," and so she tells the guy. The guy comes, and he's like, "Oh, let me take a look." He wanted to charge me like $25 to like fix it. He's like, "Yeah, you gotta be careful," and he did have a point because like he's like, "Look, this one's bent." And that was the one that he pointed out was the one that I tried to pull out.
Right.
So, he's like, it's not metal, it's ceramic, so you gotta be careful. So he ended up doing it for $15. While I was waiting, this guy comes in. As long as what the hell? African American gentleman comes in. He looks really tough. Like when he comes in, and he basically hands the guy like some jewelry, and they knew each other really well. And so the guy, he hands off the jewelry. The guy's like, yeah, I'll give you 80 for it. They do an exchange. There's no like identification or anything like that. It was just like in his hand he had jewelry. He handed it off to him. Some other guy that was in the shop. There was like people just hanging out in the shop. And this other guy's like, so where'd you get it from? And they kind of wink at each other and laugh. Like, so where'd that come from?
Off the back of the truck.
Yeah, no, I think it came from the back of somebody's hand, actually.
Yeah, probably.
Dead man's hand.
And so, but whatever. He fixed my watch, and he said it too, because like it's got like these knobs, and I don't know how these knobs work. And then he even tried to explain it to me, and I couldn't understand what he was doing. So whatever, it worked.
Your watch did come with a book, didn't it?
No, it didn't. That was a thing on Amazon. I'm thinking about putting a review and saying how the thing didn't have any instructions. It just came like it has a warranty thing in it, register for warranty, but it doesn't have any kind of instructions. So I was definitely thinking of putting that out on Amazon just to let people know.
Right.
Yeah. And so whenever I need it set or anything, I'm just going to go to the Israeli guy and have him do it. And hopefully, that other guy that came in like, pawning off jewelry, he doesn't try to jack my watch and then pawn it. That's my one fear.
Well, that was a extremely entertaining and very long story about your watch.
It probably lasted. They probably your trip to the watch repair guy probably lasted an hour. So that story.
Hey, I know you should have cut it anyway.
So did that story.
Entertaining too.
It sounds like a Velvet Underground song. Like, I went down to Fifth Avenue to the pawn shop, and they stole my watch, and I went and I got high on heroin.
None of this actually happened, Johanna. It was actually just completely a Velvet Underground song.
I really know how to. Yeah.
I just made the whole thing up.
You're like Kaiser Soze. Anyway.
All right.
What do we got next, Johanna? What's next?
We've got Lorenzo with the box office. Texas.
Oh God.
Oh, well, I don't mind if you do. Okay, so as you know, the big news this weekend, everybody, was Joe. What was the big news? Joe.
I guess it was that big green lizard that barely appears in the movie Godzilla.
Godzilla. How do they say it in Japanese?
Godzilla.
Godzilla.
You don't destroy Tokyo.
No, I'm not sure. I don't think that. Gojira, right? Gojira. Gojira. Anyway, that movie made a ton of money. It made like $95 million, something like that. Which is a good chunk of change. I personally am curious to see how much they spent on it. $160 million. These numbers, Joe. These numbers just are crazy numbers. Neighbors. Check this out, Joe. Number 2 at the box office was Neighbors. They spent $18 million making it. It raked in $90 million. So that just
over the
goes to show
weekend,
you that.
or that's total.
No, it's total gross for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah,
so
total last
this
2
weekend
weeks.
it made $25 million, which is a lot, especially since it's going up against Gojira. Gojira.
Is this the
Yeah.
movie where that dumb guy carries the baby in the carrier and he's next to the pretty boy?
Seth Rogen. Seth Rogen and Zac Efron.
Yep.
Seth Rogen and Jack. Come on, Johanna. I mean, say what you will. Seth Rogen makes some really funny movies, and I'm sure this movie is really funny. It's doing well. Interestingly enough, Godzilla and Neighbors are both in the red as far as Rotten Tomatoes goes.
Oh.
Can't say the same for number 3. Number 3 is The Amazing Spider-Man 2. It is doing quite well at the box office. Joe, I liked the movie. I don't care what you say. I saw it.
It's like you and
Good
2 other
movie.
people liked it.
It's
You know what?
172 million.
Here, this is where we're gonna have it out now. So you gave me a hard time about liking Transformers. And Transformers is
Bring it.
way better than Spider-Man 2. So I can't even
Spider-Man
judge.
2, you can actually tell what's going on. Spider-Man 2, like
Really?
the action
Yeah,
scene,
nothing.
you can
Nothing
see,
went
like,
on.
You know who Spider-Man is.
Nothing went on.
You know, like, oh, okay, that's Spider-Man, that's Electro, that's the Green Goblin, or whichever one he is now.
Exactly.
At least you know who everybody is. And Transformers is just a bunch of metal, like, flying around and crashing into, and you don't know who's who. And I mean, it's just a mess. What's his name? Who does that one again? What's his name, Joe? The director is.
Michael Bay.
Is it Mann? No.
Michael Bay.
Michael Bay. That's right. Now, Bay, he didn't do Heat, right? I get him and Mann confused all the time.
Yeah, Michael Mann did Heat.
Michael Mann did Heat. Michael Bay did what?
Transformers.
Pearl Harbor.
Armageddon.
Yeah.
Yes, Pearl Harbor.
Pearl Harbor. That was horrible.
I don't think this guy can do action very well. Like, I know he does all these action movies, but action sequences, he seems to have trouble, like, conveying a clear message.
All right.
Like,
Let's
his scenes are very convoluted and confusing. Spider-Man is just fun to watch fly around in the sky. Like, I could just
he
watch
didn't do
Spider-Man
anything.
swing around for 2 hours.
do
I don't need
anything.
him to do anything. I just need him to fly around the sky, talk to little kids, be funny, and, tell jokes. And I'm perfectly fine. Spider-Man, the most
all you
fun
need?
of all the years. Yeah, I mean, I love Spider-Man since I was a kid. Do you remember the Spider-Man live-action show, Joe?
Yes.
I don't know. I had no idea what that show was about. I just liked watching Spider-Man. Okay, I mean, he's dressed. He's got like the coolest costume out of all the superheroes. I mean, just mean stylistically. Like I like his colors and like the web and the blue and the spider and the boots. And then he's got he can shoot the webs and he just swings. He's the most fun. If I had to be a superhero, I think I would be Spider-Man.
So basically, what you're telling me is, any movie with
I
Spider-Man,
like Spider-Man.
is a movie you're gonna like, no matter what.
Furthermore, I like this Spider-Man. I like this kid. I like him. He's funny.
I don't have anything against Andrew Garfield as Peter Parker.
I
It's about the actual movie itself.
But honestly, like, even I wasn't a huge fan of the last Spider-Man, which was what's his name, Joe? Help me out here.
Tobey Maguire.
I'm not a big fan of Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man. I liked the first one. I was on board. It was a better movie because Sam Raimi did it, right? And
Yes.
so but you know what? Like, I was still, even though I wasn't a big, like, especially when you got to like the third one when you had Venom, the Venom storyline just got all weird with the guy from that
Topher
70s
Grace.
show.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Topher Grace.
But yeah, I mean that's when they kind of lost me. But I was really like giving it the benefit of the doubt just because I like Spider-Man. I
All
mean,
right.
come on, Joe. Fun.
So,
He's a friendly neighborhood superhero, and
He's a
he
friendly
sold
neighborhood
it during that.
Spider-Man.
He would land. He would talk to the kids. He would be funny. Be he'd be charming, and then that's what Spider-Man was. That's why I loved him when I was a kid reading the comic books. I was a big Spider-Man fan because I liked his gift of gab. It's not enough to beat the bad guys. You
well,
gotta beat them
that's
in
something
style.
you both have in
Everybody has their
common.
own
So.
style. Batman.
I have a question.
Batman
What's the
style.
next movie? What's the next movie on the list?
Yes. Let's go on. Let's keep going. What's after Spider-Man?
The rest is just what it is. Like the $1 Million Arm. Actually, it's the first week of the $1 Million Arm. That's the one with John Hamm. Where he's like it's kind of like Slumdog Millionaire meets Mad Men.
It's like The Air Up There. Have you guys seen The Air Up There?
I didn't with Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, I never really watched it.
He went to like Africa and like met up with some Maasai warriors, and he wanted to recruit one.
Johanna, that's just offensive, Johanna.
All I'm saying
Your
is
movie
that
is offensive.
it's about they're both movies about white guys who go into cultures they don't know about to try to recruit people.
Cool Runnings. Cool Runnings is the only good movie that's like that.
Well, he did. Yeah, well, he did go try to recruit them to become bobsledders. Yeah. But anyway, all right. So that rounds out the top 5 there.
Oh, because we still have the other women. Whatever. $1 Million Arm made $10 million. It's his first week out. It's not doing so hot, I guess, but it did come in number 4. Yeah, and then you just got like the other woman, that movie that you guys know about and I don't. Heaven is for Real. Is that Heaven is Real 2? Captain America, Winter Soldier. Legend of Oz, Dorothy's Return. What the hell is that, guys?
What?
I think that's an animated. That's an animated feature, I believe.
Yeah, that made $2 million.
I love how you said Johanna. Like I would know about this.
You would know about that.
Apparently, you're a big Dorothy Wizard of Oz fan.
I know.
And then Mom's Night Out. What's that? Mom's Night Out. I don't know.
Wait,
I have no idea.
Are you asking me about that again? Because I don't know.
Yeah, because you're a mom. You know about moms.
I don't watch mom movies because I try to like escape from my mom life. Like I want to watch some fantasy. I want to watch some Game of Thrones. So I don't watch.
Okay. You know what? Speaking of Game of Thrones, guys, I think we've spent a really long time. I think, Joe, you might have to do some editing. I think Johanna
now
tends
I definitely
to ramble.
do.
I think Johanna tends to ramble.
Yeah, it's all Johanna. It's all Johanna.
The meat of this show, the meat and potatoes of this show, I think needs to be Game of Thrones. I feel like we haven't talked about Game of Thrones in a while, and so much has happened. We just talked about Game of Thrones last week. Stuff happened last week, but boy, oh boy, Johanna, stuff happened this week.
So
let's start. Let's do a little.
So let's start
from the transition. Let's go.
Okay. Let's start with the beginning. My goodness, you're bossy. So Tyrion is looking for a champion because he's just requested a trial by combat because he figures, hey, lightning sometimes strikes twice. If you guys remember, in the Eyrie, he also requested a trial by combat, and the sellsword Bronn fought for him and was able to win his freedom. So he's thinking, well, let me try it again. Why not? It's not like my sister.
Yeah, because he's got his brother. His brother is like one of the best sword fighters ever, right? He's like one of the best sword fighters in the country.
He used to be one of the best sword fighters.
That's an excellent point, Joe. He used to be.
You gotta have a hand. You gotta have a sword hand, and he no longer has one. So, that's not an option. And the next option is Bronn, the same guy who saved his life last time, and
He kind of like turned him down. He kind of was
Disappointment there?
like, well, first off, he's under the impression, Braun was under the impression that he was going to fight the Mountain. Yeah, we haven't seen the Mountain for a while. But he's not going to fight. No, he's not going to fight the Mountain. They're going to fight. What's that? What's the guy's name? The guy that was cutting people to shreds in the yard. And,
that's the Mountain.
That's not the Mountain.
That's the Mountain.
Yeah, the guy who's making shish kebab. Yeah, out of the guys. Yeah, he's.
No, how could that be the Mountain? I thought the Mountain was oh god, the Hound's brother.
Yeah, that's him.
That's him.
It is. That's the Mountain. Yeah, that's the Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he looked different.
Was he not huge enough? Was he not mountainous enough for you, Joe?
No, he was a big man, yes, but I thought the Mountain had facial hair and stuff, based on when he killed that guy in the jousting contest, like a couple of seasons ago, and they showed him. That's why I didn't think that was the Mountain, because he was like clean shaven.
No, he had like a beard and a mustache going on. Like it.
He looked totally
maybe
different.
cut the.
He looked totally different, and he doesn't look anything like the Hound. Like they don't even look like they're related.
Well, the Hound doesn't have he has half a face.
Yeah, but other than that, I mean, they don't look similar at all.
Because the Mountain burned it off. They had a really good. They had a. Yeah, it's definitely the Mountain, Joe. Look,
yeah.
You're taking time away from Johanna's. Because it was definitely the Mountain, and that's who they're gonna have to fight, and that's why they're under the impression, and that's why everybody's scared as shit, including Braun. He's like, dude, when was the last time you did it? When was the last time you risked your life for me? And that just shut Tyrion right up, didn't it?
I like how Braun gives him that hookup breakup speech at the end. He's like, we had some good times, but it's over now. You take care of yourself.
Because you're gonna die.
Yeah. I love that he said, we had some good times. So,
they did though. I mean, they had a good run. They were together for a whole season, and I think him and Pod and Ty, they all had fun. They had fun.
Yeah, but
come to an end. How the saying goes.
So can we talk about who actually does become? Yes, I think we can. Who ends up becoming the champion? It's my boyfriend, Oberyn Martell. He comes in wearing that yellow frock that he's been wearing the entire season, and he sits down and has a little chat with Tyrion. And you kind of don't know where it's going, but in the end, what did you guys think of that scene?
You kind of do know where it's going.
Yeah, go ahead.
They set it up. No, go ahead, Joe. I talk too much, I think, sometimes.
Really? Okay. Yeah. I was well. Thank you, Johanna. I was not surprised when that happened. Side note for everyone: last week, Johanna kind of, I don't want to say spoiled it, but spoiled it when she said to me, Joe, I believe it's going to be Oberyn Martell is proud. Maybe, I guess that he's going to, fight for Tyrion. I'm like, oh, really? And then when it happened, I was like, oh, she knew. She knew. Book reader.
I feel like what you did there, Johanna, was you validated what I've been saying, for the last, 2 years, or however long it's been since we've been hanging out talking about Game of Thrones, which is that you are just a big spoil.
Well, Johanna, you have to say spoiler alert before you say any of that stuff.
Well,
listen, we can't do that because then we don't know what's happening because we have to close our ears.
I feel like, Joe, all I did was give you a hint. It was just the tiniest of nudges, which were based on facts.
Why do you
show?
The tiniest of nudges. Oberyn Martell is going to fight for That's not a nudge.
I didn't say that. I said
A nudge would be like, I think the guy with the yellow may fight for him, or
That's not even a nudge.
the guy in King's Landing.
It's who
You
you
don't
least
say
expect.
anything. You're obviously not very good at the little hints. I think you need to accept that about yourself.
I'm keeping some big secrets, okay? Like, that was a tiny, tiny, tiny pebble of a thing.
Right, but you gotta understand they're all like important to us. They're all important to us.
Well, I'm sorry. I just get a little
It's
excited about Oberyn
No,
Martell.
No biggie, Yana. But as far as Oberyn Martell is concerned, I mean, we haven't seen him fight before, so I'm kind of interested. Obviously, he must be really good. He must be a really good swordsman.
He's the Red Viper. He's the Red Viper.
Okay, I don't even know who the Red Viper is, so Johanna just did it again, probably.
No,
is the Red Viper going to come out later?
Everyone, he was called the Red Viper at the beginning of the season.
Everybody that reads the books, Taylor also referred to him as as the Red Viper, and he was like, "'Cause you read the books, right?" I was like, "No, shut up." So yeah, apparently people that read the books know him as the Red Viper.
Look,
all right, so the
and
TV show,
the
Red Viper has not been mentioned.
Why he's the Red Viper. So watch it, because I'm sure it's got something to do with his skills as as a swordsman. But for us that have not read the books, he's very much unproven in combat, as far as we know.
Well, he's unproven in martial combat. There are other kinds of combat that he has proven himself quite adept at.
Sex. Is sex combat? It can be.
So, well, the fact that for those of us who didn't read the books, myself, the fact that he accepted the challenge and is willing to defend Tyrion tells me he must be a master swordsman. He knows how to do something. He knows how to fight, because he already knows who his opponent's going to be. That big girth of a man out there is like 6'5", all muscle. So the fact that he thinks he could beat him, or not thinks, probably knows he can beat him, tells me that he's got some skills. So I'm kind of anxious to see how that fight's
well,
gonna
it's
play
also
out.
It's a revenge thing too.
Yeah, I know it's a part
the guy
of
raped his sister.
Revenge thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Killed his sister, raped the kid, killed her kids, raped her in front of the kids, killed the kids, killed her. I don't know. He did a lot of bad things to the guy's family.
Granted, yes, he wants to get revenge, but the fact that he thinks he can do it, in hand-to-hand, one-on-one, without trying to sneak or use an army or get a couple of guys and kill them, and or like sneak and try to kill him and do something like that. The fact that he's going to do it face-to-face, hand-to-hand, tells me this guy knows how to fight. So I'm kind of anxious to see.
He's been prepping for this moment for a while now.
Yeah.
I've been prepping for this moment for a while now because I've read the books, and I got so excited. Even though I felt like that scene with Tyrion and Oberyn was so well done and well acted, that I was on the edge of my seat the whole time, even though I already knew it was going to happen. I was like, oh my god, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh. So, and plus I was like,
calm down!
I was pumping my... No, it wasn't like that. It was the...
I just want to point out, I should have screamed at that. We both should have screamed at that moment just a little while ago. We missed it.
What moment?
So the whole thing though with the story that they tell about Tyrion as a child. I mean, I saw that coming. I saw the punchline of that anecdote coming when he talks about being disappointed in Tyrion. But yeah, it was a real emotional moment. Just what's his face? What's his name? Dinkler. He's just such a great actor. He's able to convey. Peter Dinklage. He's able to convey so much in just by keeping his face still. He's just looking, and he's hardly moving his face at all, and yet he's conveying so much emotion, and you can relate. Anybody that's ever been I don't know, picked on or bullied or just just had something happen to them in their childhood where it just didn't go their way, could relate to him at that moment. Like that feeling of just being on your own. And yeah, I mean, it was a really good moment. I thought they played it out really nicely. You did kind of see it coming because this guy, he's been, he's just like, you're just waiting for something to happen with this guy. He's one of those characters where he's like, every time he talks, he's just got that attitude. He's got a certain presence about him that just lets you know as an audience that there's big things in store for him. And so it's kind of good to see like now he's finally going to play his part.
Yeah, and I think I think next week we'll be able to see a bit more of what's going to happen, and I hope we're going to get like a really awesome fight sequence out of it. So there was kind of it felt minor, but is potentially major moment with Brienne of Tarth and Podrick Payne and Hot Pie, the Arya's friend, who kind of decided to peace out and stay in the tavern, and about some clues that Hot Pie was able to give to Brienne and to Pod about Arya Stark.
What do you think about Brienne and Pod's relationship, guys? Are you enjoying that?
I actually look at this. There's this series on Funny or Die called Gay of Thrones, and it's about a gay hairdresser recapping Game of Thrones, and he it's really funny. It's called Gay of Thrones, and it's pretty fabulous.
You should put the link out if it's that good.
I will. I definitely will put it up. And he compares Brienne and Podrick at one point to Laverne and Shirley. And
Laverne and Shirley, really?
Yeah, and he does this whole thing with like the opening credits, and like it's
Shamino Shamazo, half the set incorporated, whatever it is.
That's really great.
I guess Pod would be Laverne.
Whichever one is more inept.
That would be Shirley.
That
would be Shirley.
Okay, so
no,
yeah.
Laverne is the one with the L on her chest.
Yeah.
Laverne is the one that's a hot mess.
Yeah, but she's like the mean one. She's like the bold one. The other one is more like, reserved and wants to do the right thing, and so.
Oh.
Neither one of them is a warrior.
Pod would be Laverne.
Nah, right? He seems kind of quiet.
But
anyway,
the funnier of the two. Conversation.
I'm not crazy about that storyline. I just how long is it going to go for? I mean, how long is it going to take to find Sansa? Well, now he's looking for Arya. So.
No, but Sansa's
we'll see.
They are now.
I mean, yeah, they're all going to the same place now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But the Hound and Arya have a huge head start, so they should get there like way before them.
Don't even bring geography into the conversation, Joe. You're just gonna like confuse everybody, and
I'm already confused. But anyway, yeah, if they, they've been at this journey far longer, so I'm assuming Arya and Hound will get there. But what about Arya stabbing that guy?
That was awesome.
She's got her first kill. Is that her first kill?
No, I think she's killed one or two other people before then.
But I mean, this was like cold-blooded. She just walked up to the guy and just like stabbed him right in the heart.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm telling you, I told you, Johanna, you weren't on before, but when we were doing this with Malik and Lorenzo, I was telling them I think the Hound and Arya are going to be like a duo. They're going to be like buddies. They're going to be walking around King's Landing or wherever they are, Westeros. I don't know what you call that entire land.
Westeros.
The whole thing is Westeros? Right.
I believe so, yeah.
So, yeah, they're just going to walk around Westeros and get into little adventures.
Taylor said it would be great if they had their own spin-off, and I was saying that it would make a great cartoon.
Yeah.
Great animated series. Yeah, the two of them, Arya and the Hound.
There's
That'd be great. But no, I mean, he's eventually going to kill his ass. Or I do not think. I don't think she's forgotten her list. I don't think she's the kind of girl that forgets her list. I mean, even though like she's had opportunities, like in this one, she actually had an opportunity where he was vulnerable, and she could probably kill him if you know.
She has an
if-
opportunity
if
to kill
she
him
had-
every night. When they go to sleep, she
Yeah.
can kill him. He's not
But
protecting
but
himself.
he's waiting, you know. She's looking for the right opportunity. Like I think she's got something like she's waiting for the right moment, and
The
and
facts
so
are
you know
she
she's
can't
not going to
survive
kill him. She's
without
not going to kill him in his sleep. She's not going to stab him in the back. She's not going to like you know say that she's going to nurse him. Well, I think she could, but I don't. I think that she wants to do it in a more honorable way, and I think maybe he's like last on her list, you know.
Yeah, a little girl alone in Westeros trying to make her way.
And he opened up,
No.
and we got to see some more of his you know his emotional side. We got to see some of Hound sort of emoting and being emo. That was kind of fun.
Yeah, right after he did that, what did he do? He killed the man put him out of his misery.
I mean, that was kind of a mercy killing.
Yeah, I know it was a mercy
it's
killing. I'm just
good.
saying, like he opened up his heart and then he kills him.
No, it was towards the end of the episode where
Okay.
he talks about like, feeling alone, and because by that point the guy bit him in his neck, and so you know Arya's saying that they need to burn the wound to close it, and of course he's not a big fan of fire since his brother
Right.
put his face in the fire for
Right.
one of his toys. And so yeah, you got to see him just kind of actually show some emotion. And again, I like the way Game of Thrones, like, you know, probably the majority of us have never had our face put into fire by our own brother, and yet we can still relate to the Hound, you know, having that issue when he was a kid of feeling alone because his own brother maybe like, you know, picked him. We've all been there when we were children. A lot of this episode dealt with like children issues that we could all relate to, even though these children's issues were like, oh, I was born a monster and I killed my mom by accident, or oh, my brother put my face in a fire because I took his toys. Yeah, I could still relate to these guys. Did you feel that way too when you were hearing these sob stories?
I don't know. I think thinking about it now through that lens, I do. But at the time, just thinking, wow, this is really terrible, and this is just, further terrible things that are kind of part of this collection of terrible, horrible things that happen in this world. When I think you're right. I think that, maybe not to that drastic extent described by Tyrion and by the Hound, but those things do happen and they are relatable in this world.
Yeah, we've all met a kid like that little kid, that just wants to like watch everything fall out of the pit in his room or in his throne room. We all know that kid.
All right. Well,
Kid will
so
just like destroy your sand, your ice castle as soon as he gets the chance.
not the ice castle.
Oh, yes, we have to talk about Lysa, the crazy, Sansa, Littlefinger, and that whole mess up high in the Eyrie.
Yes, that was going to be my next stop in the Game of Thrones train here. So, yeah, we finally.
You're like a master transitioner.
What?
Okay,
Okay, we
I'm a
get to
master
the-
transitioner.
Yes, you are the master transitioner. Oh. So we get to the Eyrie. You have Littlefinger, Sansa, and what's her name again? Lysa,
Mhm.
is it? Yeah,
Yeah.
Lysa. Yeah, I mean that was you knew it was coming. I mean a few weeks ago when she I guess it was 2 episodes back when she said, "Oh, now we could get married." The look on his face was like, "Yeah, okay, I'm gonna marry you, but I'm gonna kill you too." You knew she was gonna die. I mean, I had to read the books, and I knew 2 episodes ago that she was gonna die. She had a few days to live after that. So
I
yeah.
mean, I don't know if he really. I think it seemed like maybe it was kind of on a whim because
No.
I mean, if you think about it, Joe, if he was like so willing to kill her, then why hesitate on marrying her? You should just married her a while back, killed her a long time ago, and then he would be where he is now. Like, if I
I'm
was
sure.
going to kill her, I would have been like,
Yeah,
let me marry her now, get my night of consuming the marriage out of the way, so that I can give her. I think he just was pissed off that she almost threw Sansa off the cliff, and like,
if you
I can't take
if you go
this
to
person
a couple
anymore.
of weeks back and you look at his face when she said, "Yeah, let's get married," his face looked so sinister, right? He didn't want to do it. So you knew at least that's the way I took it, and that she didn't have much time to live. So if we know anything about Littlefinger, he's gonna do what it takes to get what he wants. Now, if he had to marry her in order to, I'm sure he's gonna get something out of that marriage. Now that she's dead,
Well, he is because he's
gonna get the castle now. I mean, it's all going to be his.
He's the regent over Robin, I can imagine, and so he's acting Lord of the Eyrie, Lord of the Vale.
So that's going to be his, and he wants to marry Sansa. He wants Sansa. So I don't know how he's going to work that out, but now he's available since Lysa went down the slide, whatever you want to call it. She took a dive out the skylight. I don't know what they call that little thing there.
The moon door.
The moon door.
I think.
Okay. So there's one thing about the whole just. It's kind of a played out device where they're kissing, and then right when they're kissing, that happens to be when Lysa comes around the corner. Like, that's so predictable, guys.
She's such a she's so obsessed with him, though, that I can see her, following him and trying to figure out what he's doing. Because what else does she have to do?
Right, but she doesn't see the part where Sansa is like, oh, hey, wait a minute. And she doesn't see the part where, he totally, made the move on her. She just sees the part when they're, kissing, and then she looks away right before Sansa breaks it up and is like, hey, what are you doing?
That's the way it always happens.
It's just, all I'm saying is that we see that a lot in TV shows. It's it's kind of a trope.
Does she really go, hold on, wait a minute? Do we know that she wasn't...
she's like, what are you doing? She backs off of him like, whoa, what are you doing?
Yeah, she pushes him away. After they lip lock for a few seconds, then she pushes him away. But I have a bigger question here. How come there isn't something covering that moonlight thing, whatever it's called? I mean, you can accidentally trip and fall thousands of feet. There should be some kind of, I don't know, something that goes over the top of it so you only use it when necessary. It's not constantly open. There's no protection there. There's no gate. There's nothing.
I think there is a door, and I think she removed it. If I recall correctly from the first season, when they were going to throw Tyrion out the moon door, there is some sort of cover. But Robin likes throwing people out of it so much that I guess they just, decided it's not worth it.
How the hell do you get a castle to sit on the side of a mountain like that you would have a ditch to throw somebody underneath it on the first floor? That's what I want to know. I gotta understand this architecture. But anyway, yeah, there's a safety hazard there in that castle. That's all I'm saying. It needs to be covered.
What's it called? What's the castle called again?
The castle's called the Eyrie.
Look it up right now.
The tunnel's eerie. Scary and eerie. But anyway, she took a nosedive, and I wonder if she smashed to pieces or stayed together like she was describing it.
I think. I'm not sure that Baelish meant to do that right then, but yeah, I think you're right, Joe. I think it was inevitable. I think he sees the moment like, oh wait, here's a moment that I can do it, and not necessarily be accused of doing it.
It can sound like a hero because
Yeah, like
Sansa will corroborate the story. Yeah, she was going to throw me down there, and Littlefinger came and tossed her.
right. I
And
mean, I think Johanna, you're right. Like, I think it wasn't ideal. It wasn't like the ideal time to do what he did. But I think he just had it up to here with her. He was like, I'm through. I can maybe get away with it at this moment. There's nobody really watching except for Sansa. She'll back me up at this point. Fuck it. But like,
And she
you know, how's
screams
he gonna
way too
explain this?
loud.
It's like Joe, it's like you said, like, you know, is he gonna be like, oh, she tripped? She was just, I don't know, she tripped, or I mean, it's not like the bodies disappear. She was very clear that the bodies they explode a little bit, but they're down there. So, you know, somebody's gonna like, she's gonna be missed, and people are gonna know that she fell down there. I guess the only thing is like it doesn't say anybody there. It seems like it's all them. I hadn't. There's no servants or anything. It just
yes,
seems like it's the four or the five of them.
see in the book, it's like there's this one servant who wants to get all up on Sansa, and he ends up being in that scene, and he's accused of pushing light.
Ah!
What?
We'll tell you when it's over.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Sorry. Right, and so I'm interested to see what the next move is on Littlefinger's part, and I'm kind of interested. I've made my disdain for Sansa pretty clear over the last months, whatever. I am kind of curious to see how she plays this out too. Now she's going to have a little bit. She's getting a little bit more. What's the word I'm looking for? Agency. You know, so I'm hoping that she does something because I'm really tired of her just not doing anything. You know,
well,
just everything happened to her. It was
she's gonna
nice
have
to
to
see her
do
smack the
something.
shit out of that kid. That was good. Before that,
Yeah, because now she's in a castle all alone, and she's got a teenager after her and an old man after her. So she's gonna have to grow up pretty quick and do something.
what happens
Yeah,
if what happens if what's his kid dies? If what's that kid's name?
Robin?
Yeah, what happens if Robin dies?
Well, I think
Then
that Robin's gonna learn how to fly pretty soon. Right down that chute.
Sansa has
oh yeah.
had she has had so many fiancés now that I'm thinking about it. Like Joffrey. I mean, she married Tyrion, and then they were thinking of marrying her to Loras, and now this little kid. It's a lot.
Technically,
She's
she's
like
still
14.
married. She's still married to Tyrion.
Yeah, she's still.
But he'll be
Good,
dead
get that.
soon. He'll be dead soon.
Whoa, Johanna!
No,
What?
that's not a spoiler.
Ah,
Oh my
Jesus
goodness.
Christ!
How the hell is that not a spoiler? What? Oh my God, Joe!
Because I'm
Joe, I
joking.
told you.
I'm joking.
Oh my
That's
God,
why.
Joe!
Oh my
Joe,
god,
I
I'm
told you.
joking. You guys, I'm joking. Why would I tell you what actually happened?
Because you told me
Can't
last
help
week what
yourself.
actually happened.
I'm not telling you anything right now. I joke that he's gonna be dead anyway because he's not, he's in jail. Scout's
Yeah.
honor.
You can't kill him. He's the star of the show.
I'm joking.
I don't know. That's what they said about Ned. They've said that a few times, Joe, and every time they've been wrong. Anyway, let's just not even talk about it anymore. 'Cause it's bad. So let's just change the subject. Who else do we have to talk
Alright.
about from Game
Well,
of Thrones?
Daenerys and Dario got it on yesterday. Yes, in last night's episode.
And he's
She
still
was just staring at his privates for like a minute, wasn't she?
And even after all that, honestly, he's still boring. The new Dario is boring. He's so boring, and there's like no swagger to him. He's just in there, and he's like, "Let me fight for you, my lady." And she's like, take off your clothes. And he's like, okay. So.
Yeah, and then she just stared at his privates for like a good 30 seconds.
And then
It made me uncomfortable.
They did the deed, and then she sent them off to what was the name of that place? She sent them out to reclaim one of the properties or territories, rather.
Yunkai.
Yeah, she sent him to kill people. Wasn't even like
to kill all the masters. Yeah.
But then Jorah changed her mind and was like, hey, how about we not do that? But as a result, Dario is still going to be all up in that because he doesn't have to go back. He doesn't have to go to Yunkai anymore.
What? No, he's going. He's going.
I thought he wasn't going now because she's decided to show mercy.
I think he's going, but he's heading up the convoy that's going to go over there and tell him what's what. And if they fuck around, then he's also going to. I think he's going to stick around and like enforce. That was my. I could be wrong about that, but that was my impression. Was that he's gonna be there for a while, just kind of making sure that they understand what's going on,
But like she said, aren't you happy patrolling this city? It's all very confusing though. Like I really didn't know what had happened. I thought that she was kind of like making fun of Jorah because it's like, oh, you've convinced me not to do this, but that means Dario is going to be around now, and I guess I kind of like having him around, even though he's boring and he looks like Eric Bana.
He does.
He does.
So what's the guy's name that's her right hand man?
Jorah.
Jorah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, he's got to be pretty jealous too now because he's in love with Daenerys.
He is.
So I'm sure something along those lines. Something tells me that Dario and Jorah are going to get into it at some point.
You think so?
I think so.
I mean, like, how many times can you friend zone somebody before they kind of get the hint? Because she's definitely, she's practically called him her father,
I think he's like, he's pure, what do you call it, agape, like he loves her unconditionally, and nothing that she can do is ever gonna like change that. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah, I think they're gonna get into it.
I don't think Jorah's love is that pure.
I think it's pretty pure.
It wasn't in the books, I think there was definitely.
Are you getting the theme there, Johanna?
That was the tester. That was me doing a test to see if those were the words. So thank you for Pee Wee Hermaning me. Now I know what I can't say, or what I can say to have you guys scream like idiots.
So, just the audience, before we started recording and before Johanna showed up, I was talking to Joe and I said, I bet him that 3 times.
A bet that I did not take because I had a feeling it would happen.
Three times on the show that Johanna would use the phrase "in the book," and I was right. And so what we settled on was that we would do the Pee Wee Herman yell.
It did not take that action.
Wow.
Yeah, good call.
You're
the betting master, Joe. I gotta hand you. You need to go to like Vegas and like test out your skills.
Now, see, when money's on the line, that's when I lose.
Oh,
there was no money on the line here.
So if they did lunches in Vegas, you'd be all right?
Yeah. Be good. I'd be good. I'd be all right. So, what other major plot points happened yesterday in Game of Thrones? Outside of that, I think that was about it.
They've the show's in a nice spot right now, right? Because they got like a lot of stuff happened, and like next week, how many episodes are left, guys?
There's only 3 episodes left. That was episode 7.
So yeah, there's definitely some stuff that's getting lined up to happen. That's for sure. We got.
We might even get some White Walkers, Lorenzo.
Oh, you know what? So okay, so what happens when the Hound gets there and he's trying to sell it to this? She's not there anymore. There's not going to be anybody alive to sell Arya to.
Arya. Yeah, I'm sure Littlefinger will work out a deal because then he'll have both Stark daughters.
I don't even know how much longer they're going to be there.
He'll give the Hound something.
He might get there and nobody's going to be there.
All I know is that it takes forever to get anywhere in Westeros.
Well, if this is anything like, let me tell you what's going to happen. They're going to, the Hound and Arya are going to get close, and then you're going to see Sansa and Littlefinger leaving as they get closer. And they won't see them leaving. They'll assume that they're there. It's kind of like Jon and what's Brandon? What's his name? The younger two brothers.
Yeah. Ships in the night.
Yeah, ships in the night passing.
Yeah. There was more thing, but it's so minor, but we can just brush it over. Is God, what's her name? Melisandre and who's Ephasus? Stannis' wife. Because they have to give us something while Stannis is at the Iron Bank, like trying to get a loan from Sally Mae. So
he was successful. He did it, actually.
He got it.
Yeah.
So he did. Davos saved him.
Yeah.
That's going to take him another 6 months to get back from.
Exactly. He's gonna have people calling him about putting the loan in forbearance.
The big thing was the daughter. She, the wife didn't want the daughter to go, and the witch didn't want the daughter to go. The daughter being the scaly one.
Right. I think they only have one daughter.
Yeah, the scaly daughter.
She wants to burn her because she has royal blood. Yeah, that's why she wants to take her. Because
that came out in the on the show, Johanna.
I know better than to give you spoilers, Lorenzo. I know better. That was in the show.
Okay.
Scout's honor.
All right. Yeah, so I mean that pretty much brings up to what did she put in her bath? I feel like whatever she put in there did something for her. She put a little sprinkle of something in her bath. Did you
put
see
some
that?
spices in there. I don't know. She put some
paprika
or something. I don't know.
Gave her a little boost. Something happened.
She's got all her little powders and drops and things.
That's beyond for like demons.
Yeah, it was I'm sure it was something magical or mystical.
You don't really think about it, but guys, I mean, if you were like, they don't talk about this at all, but I would imagine, it's interesting that they bring this up. Like, I never really thought about it before, but witches probably really do take great baths. I mean, like they are like beyond Bed Bath and Beyond. They have like all their little whatevers. I'm sure they could put all kinds of things in their little bath, and it would make it really nice. So that's a little tip. If you ever need somebody to draw you a bath, have a witch do it.
Well, she needs to make soap, because a lot of them dudes look like they need some soap.
I mean, just judging from certain things in Santeria, like a lot of it just smells like bay rum. And
you didn't even talk about like what's his name? Tyrion. Reek. We didn't even talk about Reek.
Reek from last
week. We didn't even get into it, guys. And so that's if they're doing like an alternating thing, then that stuff's gonna go down next week. So yeah, and now we got the White Walkers coming.
Yeah.
John,
season 2.
John told him. John was like, "Yo, guys, you need to close the tunnel." So they totally didn't listen to him, telling him. That means some shit's coming through that tunnel. That's the way TV works, guys. Like if the guy says,
why is the tunnel open? The tunnel's always supposed to be closed.
Well, no, it's got gates on it, but he
Yeah.
said you need to seal it. You need to like freeze it and like make it so that people can't even go either way through it. And they're like, we've been here for 2,000 years, and you're going to tell us how to do our business? No. And so when anybody ever says that in a movie or television show, that means that it's going to bite them in the ass.
It's
So
Chekhov's tunnel.
Chekhov's tunnel.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there's that, and then there's Reek. I'm not sure what they're going to do with Reek yet. I mean, they kind of explained it a couple episodes ago. I feel bad for the guy, man. He definitely was not one of the like. I mean, he was a likable guy. He just did some really shitty stuff. But I mean, he paid his dues, and now he's at the point where he's brainwashed. His sister tried to go rescue him.
Oh,
and
I
she
love
almost
that.
ended up. Man,
I love that.
I was scared that she was going to get caught, because I mean that was horrifying. Imagine getting caught by that guy after you've seen what he did to your brother. Ugh, horrible.
But
She
my
left
favorite,
him there.
my favorite
Yeah, she's like,
was
he's dead. My brother's dead because this guy is just gone.
yeah.
He was poor Reek, man. I felt really bad for him when he was taking his bath, because that's what got me thinking about was the baths, right? Because that was another episode that had a bath in it, and it was Reek getting a bath by a crazy guy, and yeah, crazy guy told him to take off his clothes and then laughed at him for not having a penis. Just mean, poor guy. I don't know. It's just why do horrible things have to happen to horrible people, Johanna?
Well, I just wanted to go back to Yada because I really like that scene where like you hear this like valiant, triumphant music, and she's like, "I am going to get back my brother. Come with me." And then and she goes to get him. Then when she's coming back, it's the same valiant music, and she's like, "Fuck it, we gotta leave. Deuces."
Yeah, she broke out. She left him there.
Yeah.
That's not my brother anymore.
Yeah,
What are
she
you
never
supposed to
quit.
do? But why do good things happen? Bad things happen to good people. Because
No, actually, what I said was, why do bad things happen to bad people?
why do bad things happen to bad people?
Karma.
But like, it goes beyond. It goes beyond karma. Like, what's his face got the acid pour? I mean, not the acid, but gold. Remember the brother that just got gold?
Viserys.
That was awesome.
That was horrible. Like,
That dude deserved it.
I'm not saying he didn't. I'm just saying, like, okay, maybe he deserved bad, but like, that was horrible. And you know, I'm not a big fan of Joffrey, but what happened to Joffrey just wasn't.
Was not enough. It was not enough.
You know what it is? It's I think it's a theme in Game of Thrones. It's like all of these bad people think they're like the top dog, right? And that nothing's gonna get them. And when bad things happen to them, it's because there's like a topper dog, like a bigger dog. And when they finally meet that person, they're like, "Oh shit." And that, you know, like Khal Drogo, total badass. Viserys, small fish.
Right, but then Drago got taken out by a little old lady.
And by a witch.
Yeah.
And then she got taken out by Daenerys, mother of dragons.
So you have to be careful about the witches that you choose to make your bath. You have to find the right witch to make your bath.
So they'll make a witch's brew out of you.
It's a risky proposition, but I think it pays off if you choose wisely. That was my lesson from Game of Thrones.
Those are Lorenzo's wise words of the day.
I think I'm okay with my plain bath then. I don't need to be messing with witches.
I think it's time to wrap the show, guys. What do you think, Johanna? I'm gonna let you call it.
Yeah, I think we're good. I'm just gonna run through the social media outlets. agentsofhelm.com. You can listen to podcasts, read articles, access our Twitter feed. Then on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Tumblr, Agents of Helm. Find us on iTunes, leave us a review. We'll read your review in a future podcast. We'll say your name. It'll be beautiful. And you can reach me at Inky Octopus. Joe?
At Jam9270.
And Lorenzo?
I don't know.
Lorenzo is at Renzo, and instead of O's, it's zeros. So he doesn't tweet much, so maybe this is all useless information to you.
I mean, I get into, you know, what do you call those things? Like, I do it sometimes. What's that called when you do something sometimes?
Sporadically.
Oh, nice. You got your writer on right there. Yes.
That's what I don't get paid the big bucks to do. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
Someday.
Right. Someday. Let's hope. All right, guys.
Oh, yeah. It's actually with, instead of E's, it's threes, and instead of O's, it's zeros. So Renzo with threes and zeros.
Well,
I mean, I can't imagine anybody's going to actually care, but yeah. So if you want to reach me, you can find me there. But why don't you just you know, reach out to Malik, Mr. Nick 147. That's way more catchier than mine.
Yes, we forgot about Malik, who did not join us today, but we will be recording really soon with Malik. So he is Mr. Nick 147. All right, you guys. So with that, we're going to sign off, and please stay tuned at some point this week to hear our regular show. Lorenzo is going to be moderating, and I believe we're going to be talking about food. Everyone's
the food
favorite
show,
topic.
Food show only as Agents at Home can do it.
All right.
Yes. So get your canned corn ready. Let's do it.
All right. And let's let's sign off. Bye.
Bye.
Later.